Okay, getting right to it, over in the Eastern Atlantic, we have a new wave forming in Africa with a 20% chance. The storm in the center of the Atlantic now has a 70% chance. The storm in the Caribbean has a 20% chance, and another new wave is formed in the Northern Atlantic. That's 4 waves that we gotta watch and dive into. Here's the new wave right here, coming off of Africa. It has a 20% chance over the next 5 days to form into a tropical storm. It's worth watching in the future, but right now, it's just a wee wave, dealing with a decent amount of dust, as you can see by this dust I've circled on the map. I think it's something to watch, and we'll definitely go over it more in the models, but as of right now, saying anything conclusive on this wave is impossible. Next up is the wave in the Caribbean. This wave looked horrible yesterday, but I have to admit, it's starting to look a little bit better. Still has about a 20% chance of formation, so let's go over to the shear and dust maps to see what's changed. Yeah, definitely seems like the shear environment is present, but low, and the dust seems to have dissipated. With these types of undeveloped waves, you want to see a bunch of storm activity, which is what we're starting to see today. But as for now, it's a waiting game from here on out to see if these storms can combine together and produce a tropical low. That's what we can get a sneak peek of later when I go over the models. Okay. Next up is the highest chance wave in the Central Atlantic. Here's the wave right now. It has a 70% chance of forming into a tropical storm over the next 5 days. Let's look and see why. This is a spaghetti model map. No, that's not where you can find your nearest spaghetti, but instead it's where multiple models make their best guesses on the storm strength and track, and if you put them together, this is what you get. In the short term, over the next 5 days, it seems most of the models agree this storm is going to be north of the Caribbean and into the Bahamas. But as of right now, I'm only comfortable saying north of the Antilles Islands, which are here. Going over to the dust map, you can see the dust is slowly starting to clear out, which this storm will love. But when we go over to the shear maps, the storm is still dealing with a lot of shear. So in the near term, it's going to struggle to form, and it seems the strength of this storm is still in question as the models are ranging from a tropical depression to a major hurricane. I will definitely keep my eye on this one. Now finally, the wave in the Northern Atlantic is right here. It has a 10% chance of forming into a tropical storm in the next 5 days, and honestly, I have no confidence in this storm can form into anything significant because as we go to the shear map, it's clear the storm is dealing with quite a lot of shear. But we'll still look at it in the models and see if it's going to do anything in the future. Now, let's hop into the models. First up is the wave coming off of Africa, as you can see here. Right out the gate, it tries to get its act together and form into a tropical storm, but fails because of that dust and shear. So as you can see, it struggles to organize in the short term. It's possible later on it tries to do something, but as of right now, like I said before, there's not much we can learn about this storm until later. Now, over to the Central Atlantic wave. This is the GFS model, and as you can see, the Bahamas are here, tip of Florida is here, and right here is the wave. The GFS model struggles with this wave, and to be quite frank, it's an outlier at this point. The more northerly track it takes makes the storm interact with the shear, and thus keeps the wave from becoming a tropical storm. This, I think, for now, is an unlikely scenario. Let's look at the Euro model, which has a history of being a little bit more accurate than the GFS. As you can see with this model, the wave forms into a potential tropical storm about 4 days out, and it has the wave moving closer to the Bahamas. This means a little less shear for the wave to deal with, meaning it'll be in a more favorable environment for development. That being said, in the short term, it does not seem this wave will form into a hurricane, but it's definitely worth watching, as things could change. For the storm in the Caribbean, Florida's here, Cuba's here, the Yucatan Peninsula is here, and right here is the tropical wave. As you can see, for this wave, not much has changed from my last forecast. The GFS still has this becoming a tropical storm right off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula 4 days from now, and 5 days out, it seems like it's trying to make its way into the Gulf of Mexico. If that happens, we will have to watch this storm very closely, as it could intensify quite quickly into the Gulf. And last, and probably least, is this wave in the Northern Atlantic. Here's the wave right here, and as you can see, it doesn't really develop into anything and gets sheared apart by a larger low pressure system to the north. I am not concerned at all about this storm being a threat to the United States. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, turn on post notifications to make me and the algorithm happy. Have a great day.